Okay, Kelim, sorry, Perek Ches, um, um, Mishnah Yud, Tamaga, Tome Mace. So, somebody who became Tome Mace by touching Meshoy, Eichlin Mashkin L'Seif Piv, and he had food in his mouth. This is going back to those cases where you have something inside, so, let's say in a package that's inside an oven. So does it become usr or not? Does it become tummy or not? So here, this guy's tummy mace, he has food and drink in his mouth, right? And then he puts his head into the oven. Why he's putting his head into the oven, I have no idea. But he's putting his head into the oven. Right? So if he puts his head into the Haver the Tana of the oven is tar. I'm assuming the oven is off. Right? But the oven is tar. Why? I'm sorry. Vehichnis Rosh Avar Tana tar. If he puts his head into the Avar Tana that's tar, Tamu, they the um the liquids that's in his mouth makes the oven tummy. Right? Why? Because we have there's a gezerah that liquids make liquids that are sheni, which they're sheni because the person is a rishon, and the liquids in his mouth are a sheni, can make kelim tummy. Right? So that's the first case. The tar shahaya eichlin umashkin l'seich piv. But let's say somebody's tar and he has food and drink in his mouth. Ichnis roishi la'aver atana tame, and he puts his head into the airspace of a tana that's tummy. So nitmo that also becomes tummy because his mouth is in the airspace of the oven. Even though the food is sealed inside his mouth, right? But it's not sealed because a mouth is not considered a kli. So Mela, that's basically the gist of this Mishnah, that it's not considered sealed. This is a famous case. He was eating pressed figs, with dirty hands, meaning hands that weren't washed. He didn't wash the tilas diamond. He was eating figs. And then he put his hand into his mouth to take out the pebble. Right? So now his hands are tame. His mouth has liquid in it, saliva, with food. To Rameir Matama, Rameir says they're tummy because they touch the saliva, which we said you have this. It touched the saliva, which touches the figs. Rabbi Yehuda says it's tar because he holds that saliva is not a liquid. If he moved around the fig in his mouth, so it got full of
Saliva.
right, but meaning it has to be meaning it has to be saliva all around. He has to mamish like move this thing all around. But if he didn't move it all around the mouth, then tar is tar, right? Because it hasn't moved. It hasn't moved, so it hasn't moved enough that it's wet. Oh, you're putting let's say the guy has a coin in his mouth. Rav Yossi says, if he put the coin in his mouth because he's thirsty, then it's tummy. I guess that's what they did for thirst back then. I don't know. These people are sticking their heads into ovens and coins in their mouth, right? Meaning, and this has to actually do with the Yom Kippur, but meaning if he moves around this thing in his mouth in order to get saliva out of it, in order to swallow it, right, and make him um, less thirsty, so then it's a problem. Anyway, this comes up on Yom Kippur because there are those that hold that Yom Kippur, you're not allowed to swallow your saliva because it's considered a detached liquid, right? But from what I understand, even that chumrah is only like phlegm. It's not talking about your standard saliva, which it could be as mashma like that from this Mishnah. Okay, one more Mishnah, an interesting Mishnah. Mishnah Yud Aleph, Isha shenotav chala midadeh. A woman.
Phlegm only tastes good in Yom Kippur.
Well, maybe you got a problem then.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so Isha shenotav chala midadeh. If a woman is dripping milk from her breasts, v'nofal la'aver a tanner, and then it falls into the airspace of the tanner, meaning the woman is obviously, I don't know if it's obvious, but she's tummy, right? And the milk is dripping out of her, and it falls into the avir of the tanner. Right, so since she's tummy, and her milk is also tummy. So tummy, it's tummy. Shamashke mitame l'rotzen v'shaloi l'rotzen, because liquid makes a kli tummy whether the person wants it or not. The woman, the assumption is, does not want this milk to be leaking out of her, right? But even so, it doesn't make a difference because Lamaisa liquid is liquid, so it's going to make her into tummy. It's going to make the oven tummy. Meaning the only time that you need liquid, in order to make any fruits and vegetables tummy, you need to have liquid touch it first. But that liquid, we just had in the morning chabura, that liquid, you need to want it to touch it. Here, by straight tum and tara, you don't need to want it. If it comes out, it comes out. Haisa garfasai. If she was sweeping out the oven, and she was stuck by a thorn, and then she started bleeding, and now the blood dripped into the oven, or she got scalded, and then when she got scalded, she put her finger into her mouth, and then she put her finger back into the oven. So now there's saliva from her finger in the airspace of the oven, and she's tummy. I'm sorry. Or her hand got burnt, and then she put her finger into her hand, and then she put her hand back into the oven. So nitma, then the oven becomes tummy from the lady also. And there's also, she had no interest in her blood. She didn't want to bleed, and she didn't want to burn herself that she should have saliva there. Right? So still, it's considered tummy. You have this case where a lot of times people ask, they stick their finger into the sauce of, when they're pulling out the pots or from the oven, and they hit their finger into the sauce from the meat or chicken, and they quickly put it into their mouth. Right? And the question is, do they become tummy or not? So that's where do you come fleishiks or not? So all the players can say you don't become fleishiks, even though you stuck fleishiks into your mouth, you don't become fleishiks from that. Not really connected to this, but it's interesting din. Okay, we'll stop over there.